ask a question with regards to the $25.6 million that's been paid out to charities. I was just wondering which charities that might have been paid out to.
So the money was dispersed to the Salvation Army. We'll just get the exact figures, but it's the Salvation Army, St Vincent de Paul, Anglicare, and then more recently Minister Rushton has announced funding available for Foodbank and other, let me double check it, other OzHarvest was one.
And SecondBite.
And SecondBite, $1 million, yes. So Salvation Army received $10 million on the 21st of January. St Vincent de Paul received $10 million on the 20th of January. Anglicare received $1.6 million on the 28th of January. And then additionally, $4 million has been made available for Foodbank, $2 million, OzHarvest, $1 million, SecondBite, $1 million.
Okay. And so have we established how much of that they might be keeping for admin costs versus how much has been distributed on the ground?
I can give some indication of what has been made available and distributed on the ground. Sorry. Yep. Department of Social Services will have more detail, but what I can say is of the funds made available to St Vincent de Paul, the 10 million, Salvation Army 10 million, and Anglicare 1.6, so 21.6 million. 4.7 million of this funding has been expended to 4,833 people by those charities.
And has there been any consideration given to some of the really much smaller charities that are much closer to the ground? There's a lot of smaller charities that are doing a lot of work within the communities on a much more immediate basis, rather than looking at larger overheads, larger administration costs, and looking at how they're looking to, look at this at the longer term. These are charities that are working with families in the very immediate term.
Yep.
Has there been much examination of some of these smaller charities? Because I am aware of some of the smaller charities that are doing a lot of work at the behest of some of the larger organisations, and when those larger organisations have been asked to contribute to the logistical costs, for example, they have been rebuffed. So,
Senator, I'm not aware of that particular issue. However, I think that the department will be best placed to say what consideration they've given to other charities, but there is further funds available under I think about 14.4 million is still available under that emergency relief measure for the minister to allocate according to needs. So I'm sure that other charities would be considered in those needs as well.
Okay. And just before I finish, if I may, Chair, just coming back to even Senator Ayres' point with the debris and the issues around removal. Yes. There's been some reports around, particularly in New South Wales, coming from the state government, use of, for example, bulldozers versus using bobcats because of potentially upsetting a frog living in a particular tree whilst trying to remove debris. Are these sorts of issues being looked at and making sure that we're actually getting the best debris removal outcomes as opposed to potentially over-examination or over-consideration of whether or not we might be upsetting a particular lizard living in a dead tree?
So, Senator, the operationalisation of the debris removal is being done by the state. So there is the way it is generally working in New South Wales and Victoria is there is a peak contractor, so New South Wales, Lang O'Rourke, and then Lang O'Rourke will work at both ourselves and New South Wales' encouragement to get local contractors involved, because we want this to be helping the local community as well. The detail of how they go about doing it is something that we will leave to them to operationalise. I haven't heard of there being any issues of that nature arise. I'm sure that if there are, they'll deal with it on the spot. I would imagine that having seen a number of these sites they have to clean up, the type of equipment they use, be DC9 or something, or something smaller, will be about the practicality of the physical environment. Many of these buildings are on slopes. They're not nice, clear, flat blocks, and I think that will be the challenge for the local contractors more than anything else.
I mean, there's a considerable difference in the price between Victoria and New South Wales. I mean, obviously scale of fires, but also
3,080 homes, Senator, approximately have been lost across the country. About 2,800 of those are in New South Wales.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Senator Hughes. If there are no further questions for the